Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Leon. I want to look at 5 things you can do with the Fractal AX8 and an expression pedal. In this case, I've got a Mission SP1, and I'm not using the toe switch in it at all. I'm just using the regular output. So this would work well with just about any expression pedal, whether it's something like a one of the many Mission varieties, the Fractal EV, or something like the Moog EP3 or Roland EV5. The list goes on. You can even hook up a volume pedal if you've got a TRS cable that splits into 2 mono tip and sleeve, which I used to use for a long time until the little wire in my Ernie ball broke, so that's why I got the Mission. Anyway, I'm going to put this guy down on the floor so I can control it with my feet, and let's look at 5 different ways you can use an expression pedal that's not a wah, because obviously I'm sure the wah thing has been covered about 100,000 times. So I'm going to look at 5 things right now. The first one is like a dive bomb kind of thing. So what I've got is I've got a preset. I've set up the advanced whammy so that when I push my toe down, it auto engages and it also drops the pitch down by an octave. Perfect for something like this. Is good fun. I've also set that patch up. I should add that these are all downloadable as well. I'll put them up on AX8 and put the links in the description of this video. But what I've also done there is I've attached a slapback delay so that the delay mix also goes up as you toe the pedal down, so you kind of get that twofold effect. Right. The second use you can get out of these is to do volume swells, but not in the kind of traditional volume pedal before an amplifier. One of the nice things about the way you can use the block structure in the Fractal stuff is to achieve things that might be really risky with a real amp, like putting a volume pedal in your amp effects loop and potentially making things way too loud. In this case, I've inserted a volume block after the cab, and I'm also I've attached the pedal to control a few other parameters in the delay block, so it should let us make beautiful sounding swells using delay and reverb and still having distortion all the way through, because of course if you connect your volume pedal before the amp, you're going to go sort of transition from a clean sound to a dirty sound. And I've taken that idea here as well and attached the drive pedal drive control to increase as I push the pedal down. So drive is going up, obviously the volume is increasing, and I'm playing around with a few of the delay parameters, so we get this. I'm a big fan of Steve Morse, and I've seen him use this in his rig where he uses multiple amps and volume pedals to control things like the delay feedback, which is the next trick I'm going to talk about in the next preset that's downloadable. It's simply using the expression pedal to control the mix of your delay. In order to do this, you'll need to connect the delay in parallel and attach the pedal using the modifier menu, or you can just have a look at how I've done it in the preset. When you download it, is to control the input gain to the delay block. So you can go from dry to which I think sounds pretty cool. The fourth use for an expression pedal we're going to have a look at is to create a change the rate of a panning effect, or you could use this with a tremolo as well. I've used the trem pan block, set it to pan, and what it's doing is controlling not only the rate but the stereo spread. So this probably won't translate very well on the video because I'm just using the GoPro audio here at the moment, but if you connect this in stereo with your full range setup, you'll hear the really slow rate pan super wide, and as the rate increases, the stereo image narrows down, which I think is really, really cool. It sort of averts that seasick feeling you get if you've got the panner panned really wide with a super fast rate. Here you've still got the sort of choppy effect happening, but it's not super wide in the stereo field. So to start with, really wide. Which is something a little different, and it works great as a specific effect, not as something you'd use all night at a gig or on an entire track. You might use that for a particular section of a recording or a section of a song in a gig. So there's the first four. The fifth one I really think is the craziest one. I really like it. I'm kind of proud of this one. And I can't remember how many different parameters I've attached the expression pedal to, but essentially what I've got is a pitch block and a multi-delay block in parallel, and I think the pedal, let me have a look so I don't get this wrong, I've got it set in the multi-delay to control the master pitch, and the individual pitches, I've got an octave up, an octave down, a fourth down, and a fifth up. And then in the pitch block, I've got a similar thing happening, but I've got the crystallizer, and what I'm doing with just an octave up and an octave down is I'm controlling the stereo spread, the sort of the panning of each voice in the crystallizer. So with it dry, you get this. And if I bring the pedal in, I'll let you guys download that patch and play around with it, but that always reminds me of the, when you watch an old VHS movie, and it's like the THX sound, surround sound, or whatever it is, it's kind of that sound. Which is totally ridiculous. I don't know where I'd actually use that in a gig, maybe at the end of a gig or the start of the song or something like that, just for effect. Or maybe for a soundtrack for a comedy DVD or something, but yeah, there we go. 5 ways to use your expression pedal, which is not using it to control a wah. If you guys enjoyed this, subscribe, share, tell your mates, and I'll have plenty more of these coming. And please download the patches and leave a comment and let me know what you think. And I'll see you guys next time.